All right, so I'm gonna do a bit of a rant again because I like ranting, and I think it's just fine to get some of these things out. And it has to do with writing and just how much of a pain this entire process has been writing. Because I really cannot think of a single time where anyone was actually really seriously supportive of this and helped me when I needed it, or just shut up and listen to me instead of always critiquing and putting me down when I didn't need it. So for years, I used to want to write. I don't know there's sort of a drive now, but it's much less than it used to be. I remember I was so into it, I had several hundred story prompts that I had for potential ideas. So I think they're still in an old Google Drive on one of my emails that I have access to, so I could recover them, but it just kind of shows the point that I was serious about this. But for a long time, things just kept getting in the way. People kept sending me to these annoying programs and stressing me out and making me do a bunch of things to where I couldn't really get to where I need in the mental space I was needed to be able to write. And then the few times I did actually write, either I ran into blocks or others literally got in the way. I remember I tried writing in 2011 about a story, and people would be like, "Don't write here. It's like you're not supposed to write here." It's like, well, thanks for supporting my passion. I mean, really, and the problem is a lot of the other things they were having me doing weren't really productive. I should go into some detail about how disabled programs and support programs are not helpful in a lot of cases. They basically just cater to the baseline, and they don't really care if you're above that and already know it, it's kind of redundant. But whatever. So years go by, and finally, I get to a mental space where I can actually write, and I start writing more seriously. I tried writing several stories, actually, and I was going through a lot of crap at this time. I don't know if I want to go into too much detail, but it kind of like controlling parents. They were pushing me to take way too many classes in college because it saves money. Yeah, well, you're destroying me mentally, so I hope it was worth it. A horrible peer group at college who just excluded me and treated me like crap and showed no remorse for it, even going out of their way to spite me several times, and the professors doing nothing to stop it because they're losers. Just a horrible breakup and everyone taking their person's side and shutting me out. Just everything combined. And also friends who just made no effort and treated me like trash. So, again, it was just a bunch of crap, and I needed a way to get help. So what did I do? I started writing, and I started posting this on fimfiction, the My Little Pony site. I mean, it should be a no big deal, right? It's a site based on a show about friendship. So everyone there should be really nice, right? And I've seen them support other people, so why shouldn't I get support? You know what they did? Those sociopaths bullied me. They kept downvoting my story, refusing to take even a small fraction of the time that I took to write a given chapter, even edit a given chapter, not get the finished product, just edit it once. They couldn't even take a small fraction to explain why they didn't like it, to give me a fair chance to defend myself. And then when I dared stand up for myself, they attacked me more out of spite. You know, when I tried to make it clear what they were doing was bothering me, they doubled down on it because they're sickos. And honestly, about the sad thing is this went on for several years on and off. More than once, they drove me to have to take a mental break because I just couldn't deal with it. It was so bad that literally I was dreading posting because I'm like, well, I know exactly what's going to happen when I do. They're just going to continue this BS that they keep doing and making me feel worse when I'm already in a bad place. And it's really, and you might wonder, why not just remove ratings? You can't remove ratings without shooting yourself in the foot on that site. Because if you disable ratings, then your story doesn't appear very high in search results. You get no traffic. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I remember about this time I tried getting feedback from several of my friends. They said they'd help, and almost none of them actually did. A lot of them kept punting on it. and making excuses. And eventually I just am like, screw you people, because months have gone by and I haven't even seen a single shred of progress. And it's like, guys, I kind of need I need this feedback to know where to go. You know, it's kind of like trying to build a ship and submitting it to a structural engineer, and they won't even get back to you about what the potential flaws are. It's like, well, how am I supposed to proceed if you won't even tell me? And you might say, well, they're doing you a favor. Well, favors should be done in a timely manner if you say you're going to do them. Not something like I ask you to pick me up from the airport and you show up a week later and expect everything to be all fine. Without explanation, by the way. Not like you explain, I can't do it. No, you just show up a week later and just expect me to be completely okay with that. Don't say that you're going to show up a week later. You know, maybe you could have told me that something came up so I could have gotten an Uber and gotten home in a reasonable time period. But instead you wasted my time, lied to me. Yeah, so that was really nice. Eventually I just had to say screw it and go on and guess what was wrong with the story. Just because no one would tell me what was going on. I submitted it to several writing groups too. I remember I submitted it to a writing group on my college campus. I was really mad at them because they wanted me to trim it down a bit. And then they had the audacity when I did trim it down and send half of the story to say, well, next time, literally the leader comes up and doesn't even pull me aside. He says this in front of everyone. Next time, don't submit a story that's not complete. It's like, first of all, how rude is that to say that in front of everybody? Second of all, are you a publishing company? It's just so stupid. Why would you say that about stories? People need to know that they're heading in the right direction before they commit. So why would you shut that down for really no reason? It's stupid. I tried submitting to several online sites, subreddits. One of them, the mod banned me without even reading it. Another, sadly, the community seemed fairly supportive, but again, the mod was getting on my butt about stupid crap well, you need to cut it into a really small piece and submit it here and review someone else's stuff first. And no one ever saw that, so that wouldn't be useful. Second of all, trim it to 500 words when the whole thing's 3,000 words. Okay, how's that supposed to work? Because it's kind of like trying to get analysis for a chess game and how well you played when you only show the opening 5 moves. That's not ample amounts of feedback to give proper context, or trying to get analysis of how you played a poker hand when you just show the pre-flop and you don't tell any information about how someone plays. You just, here's how I played pre-flop. Okay, how do I know if that's good or bad? Because you're not telling me what the table dynamic is. You're not telling me what the sequence after that is. It's just so annoying. And I found it really off-putting too that person had the audacity to suggest that I was supposed to jump through all these hoops to get it reviewed when you removed it several times before that. It's like, okay, you're the one who's putting me out and you expect me to put myself out even more? Get lost. Really, it's just, honestly, so again, I never got proper feedback and I still don't know why those people on that site were attacking me like that, but it was ridiculous because I was spending so much time editing it and re-editing it just to get them to leave me alone and accept me when I should have been getting help all along, because they shouldn't have been that terrible of people. And eventually came to a head, and several of these scumbags, basically one of them said, don't let the door hit you on the way out, when I called the entire group out. Another claimed I got what I deserved and called me a man-child, because how dare I have a problem with people attacking me. First guy was lobbing insults at me, claiming I was all these terrible things without proof and deflecting whenever I tried to confront him on it, saying, well, how am I this? How am I that? And he just changed the subject. And he claimed I was harassing people, but it's like, well, you had no problem with people harassing me, so you're a hypocrite. Another person told me to curb my autism and basically claimed that it was my fault for not reading the minds of people who wrote this. Honestly, if I do get back to writing, I think that a lot of these stories that I was focusing on before are going to have to be punted for a while, because the way the community treated me, I'm not going to write stories that are going to benefit them. I don't want to enable that type of behavior. So if I do get back to writing, I'm probably going to focus on different things from now on. I'm running out of time, but it's like, don't bite the hand that feeds you and expect people to help you. And screw the writing community for basically destroying my passion for writing due to chronic and sustained cruelty, as Spy says.